Oh well.
I don't care.
Too late.
My time has
Time has
come.
come. Send shivers down my spine.
Body's aching all the time.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.
I got to go.
We know the guy who lives by himself.
Alrighty, ready?
Let's put the saltiest, driest thing in our mouths right before we have to start talking.
3. Everybody whistle.
I can't. I don't know how to whistle.
Wait, what?
What?
I can't whistle. This is what every time I say this, people try to teach me how to whistle. It's never worked.
This
That's
is gonna
the
be the intro to the pod,
right
yeah.
there. That just says I can't whistle.
All right. Welcome back to a Christmas edition of Rake Your Position, where 4 lifelong friends are living out the dreams from the comfort of their chairs. I'm Aaron, the host.
I'm Joe, the groundskeeper. Code 146. Code 146.
Oh, anyway. Jaylee the Rover. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I'm Corey the Stat Man. I do not have a Christmas movie. Quote. I'm gonna go with maybe that was the Santa Claus.
Nailed it.
Code 146. I don't know. I'm googling that now.
Corey doesn't
Oh.
like Christmas, guys. That's why he's wearing dark
I
purple.
well,
and
no,
a
it's
gray
my
wall.
gift to you. Bryce Harper, your favorite player's favorite player.
Whatever.
My wife likes to wear green, and so I am not allowed to buy or wear green things. I could have worn just like a red shirt, I guess.
She
How does
doesn't
that make-
want to be associated
yeah.
with you.
Can you make
No, we don't want to. We don't want to look the exact same. That's weird.
Your wife doesn't have a beard.
That's you know you haven't seen her in a while.
Wow.
can confirm
Okay.
I haven't seen her in a while, but I don't think she does.
I feel like that's a pretty safe bet.
And for our listeners, our host has lights on his mic. He has ornaments in his beard. Shaking.
Pretty jolly.
Can you hear him?
Oh, jolly.
No, unfortunately, I can't.
And I got a somewhat of a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And you have razor blades. Cool.
Yep.
This is Christmas, everybody.
Or he has
My-
razor blades.
My dad got me a razor
Snow.
that's also a vacuum. I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, that's pretty. I have the bib that I Velcro
I
around
was going to
myself.
get one of those. Yeah, that's a
That's
good
pretty
idea.
handy.
I just let it fly.
I'll have to try the vacuum
Gross.
next time. Let you guys know how it goes. Alrighty. So anyway, back to baseball. We're going to start with just a little more follow up to Ohtani. Like to hear Corey's thoughts on anything Ohtani related. He did get to share with us last week. But one thing that caught my attention that I wanted to put it back on the agenda for today is we knew last week Ohtani, of course, got this 10-year, $7 million deal with all these deferrals and all these opt-outs and really trying to help the team while he's there be able to build a roster out around him so he doesn't have what happened to the Angels and miss the playoffs the entire time he's in Dodger uniform. And so we saw that the Giants and the Blue Jays since then have both said, yeah, we agreed to basically the same deal. So it's just a matter of Shohei wanted to go to the Dodgers instead. But since last week, it's also been reported that the Angels refused that offer, which just is mind-boggling. Like a year ago, Art Moreno was selling the team. Then he's keeping the team, and they're going all in with Ohtani and don't trade him, so they get a draft pick and nothing else for him. And then they try to put a team around him at the trade deadline. It backfires. They sell everybody. And then they have the opportunity to keep him with the same offer, and they refuse. And all this is before Ron Washington even manages one game. So just wanted to start with more Ohtani discussion and try to figure out what the Angels are doing in this conversation.
Are we surprised that this is what the Angels did? I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know that there needs to be much discussion here. They seem like a train wreck. They have been a train wreck. They've had the two best players in Major League Baseball the past 6 years and have not made the playoffs. Um, I don't have much more to say than that, just because it's what we've been saying the whole all year. Um, as far as just like general Otani thoughts, I mean, it seems obvious to me that he wanted to go to the Dodgers. Um, I know the Cubs were rumored to be, I think, in like the 500 million over 10 years, and I think that like that would have been just straight cash. So more present value than what he got. I mean, I appreciate that. It seems like he brought to the table that he wanted to help the team win. Um, but it would seem that there was money left on the table, at least present value money left on the table. I don't know if it would seem weird to me if like everybody had the same sort of structure whenever they say that they were willing to match the offer, but I guess that could have been the case just because it is such a unique deal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, definitely as the information came out, it didn't seem as crazy as it initially did because that number was mind blowing. Um, so yeah, and I think it's kind of I'm curious about why he didn't go to the Dodgers in the first place when he came over because I think he basically had the choice and like everybody could only pay him the same amount of money at that point in time too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There's
'Cause
no
it's
DH yet, so I think that made a big
that's
deal.
true.
I think he had to
Yeah,
go to the AL if he wanted to do both at that point
yeah,
because he's
I
played
forgot
some
about that.
outfield for the Angels, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, and then when you can get a Kobe video for you that they had saved for 6 years, I mean, what else do you need? I was reading
Jared
about
said,
Kobe today, and I got super sad. And then I was like, man, what a
Hmm.
great
Weird.
guy.
Jared,
Greatest of all
Jared,
time.
Jared just showed us a book before you logged on.
Yeah,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, it just after all is said and done, it just seemed like he went to the place that he wanted to go to. So kind of good for him. I mean, he
Mhm.
earned it. He earned every. I mean, even this ridiculous number, even if it was all present value, I still would have been like, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
I could see you getting 70 million a year. But
Makes sense.
the
And
Angels are a mess.
there was another player, as in team, that had an offer out. You guys might have heard this, but I had a guy at work tell me this, and um, it's really freaking hilarious. The Oakland had an offer out, 1 million a year for 700 years. I don't know if you guys had heard about that. He obviously didn't take it, but
Good deal.
um, I mean, life, pass that down
Mm-hmm.
to your bloodline, right?
700 years is worth $20.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. We were talking a little bit before we hit the record button, and we talk a lot before we hit the record button. We get all the we get all
All
the
the insiders calling us.
yeah, we can't.
Yeah, phone won't stop blowing up.
But and I think Aaron said that it was his agent that came out and said this, but I always am a little skeptical of the news afterwards, like, oh, this team offered this and it got turned down, whether that's a trade or a contract, because I'm like, how do you really know that that's what happened? So I think sometimes maybe we chastise teams for things that probably didn't even happen, but I know it's still news, and if you have a source like an agent, you have to take it relatively seriously. But I always am a little skeptical of things that were proposed, not accepted, things like that. But I'm surprised I mean, if it's true that the Angels didn't at least match, that's pretty surprising.
Got any thoughts, Jared?
No, not really. Just I think kind of it is weird that the Angels didn't, but maybe they're just tired of being the laughing stock of having the two best players on your team and not winning. So maybe they're
That's
just
true.
gonna
If you
try to
don't
go.
have them, you can't be
They're
big
just gonna go under the radar with just Trout and see what happens there. So
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing the small market clubs right now are jumping on the free agency market, grabbing these guys that are below the Otani market, and so the Tigers, Kansas City, these teams are spending money. So everybody's got enough money to pay Shohei $70 million a year. Now, whether you want to commit to that for, in this case, 20 years, as it's all deferred, is one thing, but no one believes he's not going to be worth it. So unless he just has a career-ending injury of some sort, so yeah, I mean, he got to go where he wanted to go. He was in control, and he's the best player in the world, so he gets to do that. So good for him. The other big transaction that took place after our last episode was the Glasnow trade. Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot went from Tampa Bay to the Dodgers. The Dodgers added some pitching to acquire Ryan Pepio and Johnny DeLuca. So the Rays send a veteran pitcher and a veteran outfielder that are making lots of money on short-term deals to LA for a younger pitcher, younger outfielder making hardly any money. But the Dodgers also extended Glasnow 4 years, $111.5 million plus an option to complete the deal. So opening thoughts on that. Who wants to start us off?
I hate the Dodgers.
Is that all your thoughts?
Yeah, for right now.
Okay. Good deal, I think, for everybody involved. I mean, I think Pepio looks good, and he's a guy that I think why are you looking at me like that?
You always talk about the way these players look.
I meant like his ball, the balls that he throws. Let's see, he had a 2.14 ERA with 42 innings this past year, so pretty good. I think DeLuca, pretty serviceable. These are the type of guys that you could see go to the Rays and be amazing, because that's just what happens. I think especially with the Rays this year, I'm going to stick to my guns here and say they're punting for this year because of the injuries that they've had. So Pepio's there, but he's also around for a long time. And then Glasnow is great when he's throwing the ball. But how often he's going to do that, I think, is the big question. So I think it was like 1 year he's thrown over 100 innings so far in his
Twice now.
Twice? Okay.
Last year he had 120 innings and 21 starts. 2018, when he was traded to Tampa, the Pirates had him relieving, and so he racked up about 60 innings in the Pirates' pen, and they traded him to Tampa. He made 11 starts and got almost 55 or so innings there. So ended up with 112 innings, just about.
Was that part of the Archer deal? I think I read that somewhere. Or no?
It was Glasnow and Austin Meadows, which was whoopsie for the Pirates.
Yeah.
If he stays healthy, I think this is great. I think it's you see an interesting thing with the extension specifically. Like Aaron Nola gets 7 years and 170 million, and Glasnow gets 4 and 111 with a $25 million option or something for the 5th year, something like that. So you see that there is a little bit of safety net there. I think that the Dodgers have created for themselves by giving him a little bit more of a shorter term, less total value contract than what Nola got, which Nola is a workhorse. And it's assumedly, I don't want to say he's going to earn all of that 172 million, but I think he has previously.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as pitchers especially, you pay for previous performance. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a deal that makes a lot of sense for both sides. I hate that it's the Dodgers, kind of similar to Jared, but for the Rays, I like it. I think they got a couple good pieces that could become superstars because that's what Tampa does.
Hey, Corey, can you read me Glasnow's stats?
Any particular stat, the past year career stats?
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Well, he has 7.1 WAR, which is shocking to me that it is that low. But so in 2023, he went 10-7 with a 3.53 ERA, 120 innings pitched, 2
Started the
2.8
season late, coming back from
Yeah.
Tommy John.
2.8 walks per nine, so that's pretty good. 12.2 strikeouts per nine. So the stuff's there. Um, anything in particular you still are looking for, Jared?
No, I just
Okay.
you said the word great when he throws the ball. I think I would say slightly above average, maybe.
I got
Uh,
a few of his stats regarding starts, because that's the biggest knock is how little he has pitched. I mean, he's already 30. He just turned 30 years old. So, 2019 was his first full year with Tampa after getting traded over there. He had 12 starts. 2020, of course, that's a shortened season. 11 starts was a full season. And then 2021, he made 14 starts before going down for Tommy John. Got 6 innings in last year, and then other injuries crept up on him getting ready for this year, and he made 21 starts. So he's averaging, since he became a full-time starter, he's averaging, not counting 2022 because Tommy John, that's actually not that big a deal anymore. Everybody has that. So his other four years that he's been a full-time starter, he's only made 14 starts a year on average. So you're looking at paying him $2 million a year or $2 million a start, if he gets 14 starts this year. But the Dodgers can do that, and they're desperate for pitching. So
I got some thoughts. Whenever it's time for me, I'll go.
yeah, it's all you, man.
Well, real quick, you said he had some injuries creep up on him. Anytime I've had an injury, it's like it's not a slow process to happen. So I guess I wonder why that's a phrase. You'd be like he had an injury very quickly come into his body. I mean, we need a new phrase for that.
Dude, I literally had a week back, and it creeped up on me. It was 2 weeks ago. I was roofing. 3 days later, I'm sore. 4 days later, I'm stiff, can't move. Then I go try to play basketball for about 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden my back's like, nope, you're old. So I think as you get older, the injuries do creep up on you a little bit more. But yeah, I get it.
Okay. Yeah, and we should this may be could be like a spinoff segment or something. We need to figure out like what a professional sports physical looks like, and maybe like perform one on the pod or something. I wonder as they look at this guy.
Probably not on the pod.
No, I'll do it. Let me know what it is. I'll do it.
You got to think it's wildly extensive, right?
I mean, you're paying this guy a bunch of money, you would think.
You're
Yeah.
MRI in every joint, man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you'd think they'd have to be fairly confident that they're going to get this guy to pitch. And I'll go ahead and say I'm going to say this because Jay Lee said this. I had no plans to say this, but Jay Lee got me riled up there with what he said. Yeah, and I'm a hater of about like 98% of players. 99
There we go.
players. And I don't watch Ray games. I've never seen this guy pitch other than some pitching ninja stuff and some YouTube clips. But I think if he gets 30 plus starts next year, I'm just going to say he's going to win the Cy Young. I think his stuff is outrageous. I think his numbers he's put up, and I'm looking at like WHIP and Ks per nine, I guess. He doesn't pitch because he's hurt all the time. But if he gets 30 starts, he'll win the Cy Young next year.
Wow. The Guardians win the division by 20.
Are you picking Glas now for National League Cy Young right now?
I'm picking Glas now. I'm picking him for NL Cy Young right now.
All right, write it down, Corey. Get it in the chart. Jared picked the Yankees to win the AL East last week too, so we've already got that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the money. You're the Dodgers. He's going to make $25 million this year through arbitration before this extension kicks in. So do you want Glas now for, hopefully 20 starts at $25 million, or do you want Lance Lynn back for 32 starts at $14 million? I mean, you're the Dodgers, you can do it. So you might as well go for the better stuff and hope he stays healthy versus the surefire healthy guy that can't get anybody out. But the fact that they were so adamant at getting the extension done to make the trade happen, expecting him to be healthy, and he's already in his 30s. That was the part that blew my mind. I don't mind if the Dodgers going for him to get him for this year and then wait and see how it goes. But yeah, they're the Dodgers. They can do that. I got a fun stat for you guys real quick about Glas now. So since 2019, he became a full-time starter. He's thrown 332 innings and 332 and 2/3 innings. John Lester, since 2019, has thrown 374 innings. So John Lester hasn't pitched in 2 years and has more innings than Tyler Glasnow since Glasnow became a full-time starter.
That's what I like to see.
And the Dodgers are paying him like he is a Cy Young candidate. So
He is good.
And he is a Cy Young candidate. I just said that.
So according to Joe, he is. Who'd you pick this year for Cy Young, Joe? Were you good at it?
No, I think I picked Scherzer, didn't I?
Who got hurt?
Bieber
Okay.
and Scherzer.
Yeah,
So-
Scherzer. He's out for half this year. So good luck, Glasnow. Joe's in your corner. That's never good.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Any other final thoughts on Glasnow?
It's not really Glass now, but it seems like the Dodgers are pretty heavily involved in the Yamamoto talks as well. I don't think that's going to surprise anybody if they land that dude too.
Yeah.
I think Shohei was in the meeting with Yamamoto, so pretty convincing there.
I mean, you got the best. Yeah, best.
I mean, yeah, they took Freddie and Mookie supposedly to get Shohei. So they're
And
recruiting
Kobe.
hard.
And Kobe.
Can't go, but yeah. The last Glasnow stat I forgot to share with you guys, since we're talking about Dodgers, you guys love Kershaw in the playoffs. Glasnow is the worst postseason pitcher in the big leagues right now. In 10 career postseason starts, he has a 5.72 ERA. Kershaw is second with like a 5.2 ERA, something like that.
That's
So
good.
Glasnow
You can call me
is-
up during the playoffs. I'll pitch.
Yeah.
We probably get
So-
around those numbers.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes. But yeah, the Dodgers had to do something. They need rotation help. Don't even know if Kershaw's going to pitch this year, and he's a free agent anyway. Bueller's come back from Tommy John. Urias is gone. So swing big.
They did.
Any other transaction news you want to highlight before we get into our next fun segment?
Nothing's happening. Oh, Jared, so go ahead.
Just a real quick hit. McCutcheon's back.
Oh yeah. I wanted you to talk about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he's
Good
at
for him.
299 homers, so he'll get
Yeah,
300.
needs one more. Yeah, man. Kudos to these small market teams. They're going for it. Like Pittsburgh has added Martin Perez.
Is that
and
going
Marco
for
Gun-
it? They signed Andrew McCutcheon for a one year $5 million
He was
deal.
fine
he's-
last year.
Yeah, he's fine, but I'm just saying.
But they
like,
also added Martin Perez and Marco Gonzalez. Like, they have pitchers that can pitch now. They're not just
They
sitting
got
there
Mitch
hoping.
Keller.
Yeah, they got your boy Mitch.
I love Mitch Keller.
They have young position players everywhere else. So getting some veteran leadership in there to raise the floor in a weak division is a
And
good
someone
idea.
teach O'Neal Cruz how to slide, and they'll be fine.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, and Kansas City, we've talked about them, how they keep adding. They added Renfroe, who could be 30 homer in the Gold Glove conversation. So nice get there.
So he needs some outfield help.
Tigers
And
picked up our boy Jack. Flaherty.
Hey, we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
It's like that. Reverse it.
All righty. So in the merry seasonal bliss of this time of the
good
year.
one.
Thanks, man. We've got a fun segment. We are going to play Secret Santa for 4 different teams / players. Each person in the pod, each leader of the pod gets an opportunity to be Secret Santa for somebody in MLB and give them a gift this holiday season. So, Corey, why don't you go ahead and start it off, because you kind of teased us a little bit there with that rant.
Hello. Jingle bells, Do you want me to sing here? No. Oh, you're doing that. Yes, I will be playing the role of Secret Santa for the Detroit Tigers because, guys, I think the Detroit Tigers are a lot better than we think they are. They were second in the Central last year, and I guess first and foremost, I'm going to stuff their stocking with a year of health because that is important. I think every team should get that. I don't think that's anything really groundbreaking for any one team in particular. But Riley Green had only 400 at bats last year. Casey Mize was down all of last year. Tariq Skubal was hurt off and on last year and was very good when he wasn't hurt. Joe, let me know when I say a name that you do recognize, okay?
Javier Baez.
Yeah, well, that's so the my Secret Santa gift to the Detroit Tigers is a slightly above average Javier Baez.
About to take him off the field.
Well, they're paying him a lot of money. Javier Baez last year had an OPS of 592, an average of 222, 9 home runs, 59 RBIs. It was not good. 125 strikeouts, which actually wasn't that bad for Javier Baez. And if they could just get somewhere around, like if he had a 750 OPS, awesome. They would love that because the rest of their team has a chance to be so good. They've got Jack Flaherty, which we had to nip the bud there a little bit, where you stole my thunder. Signed him, which again, one of those could be a great deal, could be a worthless deal. We'll see. They signed Kenta Maeda, Casey Mize, former #1 overall pick, Tariq Skubal. I would say if he's healthy, is in the AL Cy Young conversation. Their bullpen's very good. They got a guy named Jason Foley. They re-signed the Sheriff, Andrew Chafin. Another former #1 overall pick, Spencer Torkelson at first. They have the 25th overall prospect ready to come up at third base this year, and a guy named Colt Keith, which is a great name, by the way. But big power, big arm, definitely like a third base guy. And then their outfield, they got Mark Canha, Akil Baddoo, Parker Meadows in center, Riley Green in right. Perry Carpenter's a great hitter who's DHing a lot of the time. They have a really good team. If their shortstop isn't an absolute pile of hot garbage. So my gift to the Tigers, I think if you get a 750 OPS Javier Baez, they easily win that division because we know the Twins aren't going to do anything. The Guardians are not doing anything. The Royals are, and the White Sox are going to be. I don't even know who's going to be on the White Sox.
Full on rebuild.
Yeah. So it's just like, I think the Tigers have a chance to just destroy that division, and I think they have a chance to be very, very, very good, if not this year, in the next 1 or 2 years. It'd be really cool if they had a good shortstop, though. And it's a guy that can be a really good shortstop.
Done for. So are you saying right now today, Tigers win the AL Central?
Yes.
Put it down. We get all these Christmas goodies in our stockings tonight.
So health from all the people that have gotten hurt and a good shortstop. The Tigers could win the World Series if they stay healthy and have a good shortstop.
Well, they gotta. I mean, that's a huge omega lull there. I mean, wow.
I was on board until you mentioned that, Corey.
Hey, I remember
They're-
getting razzed for all the Diamondback love I was given last year on a young team. So, Corey, I'm here for it, man. Let's do it.
Thanks, man.
Well,
Tigers
I'm-
2024.
They got a
Yeah.
little addition by subtraction too. Miguel Cabrera retired and stopped
Yeah.
taking any at bats. I had something else to say there, but I forgot what it was. So
What did the shock when he said World Series Tigers?
yeah, what the heck?
Do they have another shortstop? I haven't looked at the roster at all. Do they have anybody?
Their depth chart is just Javier Baez at shortstop.
That's what I thought.
Um,
Yeah. So it's like crap. We're stuck with
Like
it.
they've got Zach McKinstry who could play shortstop. Um,
But you're paying Baez all that money. You're not gonna not play him.
yeah, I mean,
But if
yeah.
everybody else is clicking, man, get
Well,
rid
I
of
mean,
him.
it could be a situation where if everyone else is and Javier Baez is not, then they do something like there's people out there they could sign Tim Anderson or something, and he could
Mhm.
like if for instance this Colt Keith is not ready at opening day, like it would be really fun to see Tim Anderson and Javier Baez on the same team. I think just personality wise,
I think that would help Baez.
it might.
Like,
But
he seems to be a guy that has to, like, he gets bored easily, loses focus. So he needs to have like a little bit of fun and energy that way.
because Tim played second for USA, and I think if you know if he, I think he could probably play third if he wanted to. Which, I mean, the second base is another spot that they could probably use a little bit of help with. But I mean, I don't want to say second base is an easy position to fill, but
Yeah, Mookie Betts can do it. Anybody can do it.
yeah, um, yeah. I mean, bringing a vet that's could play shortstop, but can also fill in these other positions if Baez does do well. I think that's an option, and I think Tim Anderson and Javi on the same team could be a lot of fun. I think the Tigers could be a lot of fun. Maybe World Series champs. I don't know. We'll see.
I like it. Well done, Secret Santa number 1. Jared, why don't you do Secret Santa number 2? What you got for us?
Before Corey got on with us, I'm not gonna say misunderstood the assignment, but I definitely am gonna take this way further. Corey just gave one little present of Javier Baez being Javier Baez. I'm gonna bring in a whole Toys for Tots dump truck. Like,
Make a
just-
wish coming in.
yeah. So first and foremost, what's gonna happen here is your boy somehow acquires just a number, $45 billion. Okay. I sign a check and then I purchase the Cardinals. Okay. Then what is this? Just a clean slate. Everybody's gone, ownership wise.
Oh,
GM, baseball of operations. We'll keep the cleaning crew because I think they do a pretty good job. Some of the players will stay, some will obviously be going. But why I say this is I'm gifting the Cardinals an opportunity to do what they have, which is spend their money and stop living in what me and Joe razz on you guys with is always living in the past and be done with that. Because I think the organization continues to do that of just living in the past and hoping that the Cardinal way and the culture and is winning enough when you have a franchise that the fans show up all the time, so you have plenty of money to spend on these free agents, bring these people in. I don't know. I think that was my big gift is getting rid of this old mentality of just, oh, well, people want to come play for St. Louis. Well, obviously not. You show them some money, then they might want to come play for you. But that's my big gift is cleaning it out, cleaning out the old ownership group. Because I think that's what's stopping us from being in that tier of what I would consider like the Dodgers, Braves, people making these moves to stay relevant and understanding that the game is different now and you have to spend some money to make money.
I like it. As the new owner and head
I
of
think-
baseball ops, what are you doing? What's the big transaction you're doing?
Well, the first thing is if I'm the owner, I gotta have a baseball op and a guy who's gonna be not afraid to go out there and make any move that need to be made. So I'm bringing Joe in because
I was
he's
waiting for it.
hey, he's a PR nightmare, but He's gonna make the moves you need to be successful.
There is not going to be a farm league. Be like, we'll just cancel our minor league teams. We don't need them. Trading them
Yep.
all off. Get those vets.
Yep. But I don't know. I think you have an opportunity to, like, I don't think the Cardinals were ever in on Shohei, so I'm not even going to mention his name. But you, like, in the beginning, you had an opportunity to go out and get Yamamoto. Like, there's ties there with Nootbaar. He played with him in Japan. And I just don't think they pressed the gas on anything. Like, I think they're just always scared of, like, oh, we're going to get beat out by these bigger markets. You don't know that. Like, go try. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the one. That would be the move if I was in charge that I would go do, because it's an ace pitcher for you. He's young. He seems to be the real deal. So that's what I would do. Joe, what would you
Who's managing the team?
do? Ooh, you'll have to come back to me on that one.
I thought for sure it'd be Yachty.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
No, he can do something in the front office, but that'd be too
He can be head of person or PR for Joe.
That could be his PR manager.
yeah.
Yeah.
But as my new baseball op, Joe, what's the big move we're gonna do?
Oh man, as you know, as I've said numerous times, the dynasty that I would build if I was the head of any professional team would nobody would ever talk about the Lakers, the Celtics, UCLA, the Yankees. I mean, any of the stuff where they're like, wow, these runs these teams went on. But to put me on the spot, like what moves am I making? You know, as we look at this offseason, every big name is tied. Middle America is like not in on anybody. Rarely, maybe Texas, but you know, so I don't know. I don't really know how you change that. Do we have the money? Do they have the money to spend? You'd have to assume their attendance, and I don't know what percentage that attendance actually plays into a team's treasure chest, but one thing I would probably change, and they finally kind of admitted it, was getting away from this, I don't want to say small ball, but this kind of 80s, 90s pitch to contact, play defense way of winning, which that's not the way teams are winning nowadays. So I'd probably look for a lot more of that. And then the international free agents that you can sign without having these like really big posting fees and a lot less brouhaha around them of like that all these Japanese and Asian guys have is more of the Latin America. I would, and I'm sure they're heavily involved there, but you know, I'd pour some more money into that and just sign everybody. One of them's got to pan out, right? And then yeah, trade the farm for established players and you know, just watch the dynasty just snowball. Might be 10 ships in a row. I don't even know. We'd probably catch the Yankees in 15 years. Wait, that's not even time. 20 years.
No. Yeah, there you go. Give or take. And while you were going on that spiel, I just thought of the manager and the bench coach. So the bench coach is going to be no other than Bo Hart, obviously. That's a shoe-in.
Somebody smaller than me. That's nice.
But I think the manager, just because of that goatee all these years, has got to be Fernando Vina.
Nice.
I like it.
Deep pull.
Pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You like your second baseman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're going
hey,
with Scott Spezio. That's a soul patch.
that's just a really long soul patch.
Well, thank you, Secret Santa number 2. Joe, gonna be Secret Santa number 3. Who you got for us?
I can't wait for this.
Yeah. Can't wait for this either.
Got to figure it out real quick.
So I had listed just the state of California. And a little bit like Jay Lee, not 100% for sure I understood the assignment. But
That's why we're here on the pod.
So you look at. I mean, surely we can do this because even I can do this. Can we name all the teams that are in California, MLB wise?
Yeah.
Is this a competition?
Yeah, Corey, you go first.
Oakland,
Okay.
briefly.
Giants.
We're going around here.
Yeah, Jay Lee.
Angels.
Dodgers.
Padres.
Okay, well, see, you guys wouldn't do this, but I'm going to admit I only thought of 4. I forgot about the Angels, so I'm an idiot. But it still fits because I typed California and I didn't type out all the teams. But where I'm going here, because that still falls into my topic. So if this is Secret Santa,
It's a good thing you're here, man.
We've only talked about Otani all offseason.
So let's have another little trivia challenge. Let's go with who has the most World Series titles as a team. Jay Lee, do you know who's number 1?
Like ever, right?
Yeah,
That was
like
the
the
question?
team with the most championships.
Yeah, the Yankees.
Okay, Corey, you know who's number 2?
I think it's probably the Cubs, if I had to guess.
That's close, not the Cubs. Aaron, you know who's number 3?
Number 3.
It's actually a tie, but
Can you give me a number?
9.
Ooh. Tigers.
No. The team I was looking for there was Oakland.
You didn't let me guess. I was going to say that.
My bad. I think they're tied with
Oakland.
Boston. They're tied with somebody. Now let's go to what the bit's actually about. Secret Santa. And if we're thinking of Santa, what is Santa the goat of?
Presents.
Time travel.
Magic.
Those are all.
Athleticism.
Those are all.
Cookies.
What'd you say, Corey?
Athleticism. I'm just trying to tie it back into Oakland.
I thought. I won't say what I thought you said, but no, he's actually the goat. I mean, he's probably the goat of those things you said too, but he's actually the goat of breaking and entering. If we think about it, this dude gets in every house every year and ain't been caught. So,
No, I caught him once.
you did
He was making out with his mom.
kissing your mom. Well, you didn't catch
Hi,
him.
Mom, if you're still listening.
He got out of there. So let me rattle off a few other things.
Dad?
So this is last year, so somewhat old news, but not really. So San Diego, these are going to be some big numbers here. San Diego, 256 million. Dodgers, 240 million. Angels, 230 million. Giants, 187 million. Okay, now I'm going to go to my mouse, and there's a little wheel on it that allows me to scroll. I have to scroll way down, so give me a second. Oh, okay. Last in the league, Oakland Athletics, $62 million. And probably, I just want to give a little foreshadowing of probably multiple months of me. Probably because the Cardinals sucked last year, I'm going to continue to complain about payrolls because the Cardinals lost. But Secret Santa, what he's going to do is he's going to break into. I should have looked up all the names of these stadiums, but I did. Maybe you guys can help me out. He's going to break into San Diego. What's that, Petco? He's going to break into the Dodger Stadium. What's that, Dodger Stadium?
You've been there.
You're doing great, dude. You're 2 for 2 so
Yeah,
far.
you're 2 for 2 accidentally.
He's going to break in to the Angels' place. Los
That's
Angeles.
not what it's called.
It's
But I
got,
don't know
there's
what it's
got
called.
rocks in the outfield. It's a big old mountain.
I don't know what it's called. Sorry.
He's
Is
going
it
to
not
break
Angel
into the
Stadium?
Giants. I have no idea. Listeners, help us out and call in. And he's going to break into the Giants Stadium, and he's going to raid the coffers. He's going to fly over to Oakland. He's going to dump about, I don't know, probably half a billy into the stadium, and sprinkle a little magic like Salt Bay as he goes across the stadium. And they're going to get a stadium. They're going to build a team, and they're going to get to keep the team. So that was what I had Secret Santa doing was
John
I don't
Fisher's going
understand
to
why all
sneak
these
out
teams
there, grab all that money, and run away. Be like, Santa who?
I don't understand why all these California teams and I guess I should have went back and maybe looked at the last 10, 20 years of payrolls, but like all these California teams just pump the cash and then Oakland's like, no, I mean, they've always been talked about. They always made like sweet trades that kept them in the hunt forever, and they had some really good years, but they're like Tampa Bay of the West Coast. Like here's our
They
good.
were.
We're gonna trade
They
them.
were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They gone.
Yes, I'm just more confused about Santa breaking in and robbing. I thought he left stuff, not stole. But I like it.
Those new magic cards you got this year, he stole from somebody else last year.
Cool. He can take some of my stuff. I got too much.
It comes down to last week we talked about salary cap a little bit. It comes down to the owners, man, because San Diego's a small market, technically, by all the measurements they do. And they didn't spend until, the last couple of years, the owners like, yeah, Preller come in here and do everything he can to buy me a World Series. And they keep trying. And it's backfired on them. But
And
Oakland ownership just doesn't want to.
and maybe that's the truth. I would need more convincing of that to tell me that's the truth. There was a story out there that San Diego was like taking out loans or something to pay. So are these, I don't know. I don't know the finances. Are these teams rich? Are the owners rich? I don't know if you can just lump all the payroll. I'll call them troubles, even though it's not troubles, but I don't know if we can just throw everything on. Well, all the owners are rich and they could all spend 500 million if they wanted to, but only these, 8 teams decide to do it. And that could be the case. I need more convincing and seems like
Because Oakland is a historic
Go to LA.
franchise. They've had, great history. It's been run poorly now for a long time. And so, yeah, the owners got more money to spend if they want to. Couple that with attendance, though. And Oakland's attendance has been horrible. Like fans aren't supporting the team. And I don't blame them. They shouldn't be. So,
But anyway, ride off, Santa. You did your work. Oh, no, wait, no. You got to ride over to.
yeah, got to ride over to Chatham here. All right, guys. So I got my little Happy Holidays bucket here.
Happy holidays.
And inside is my
Happy
gift.
holidays.
I've got Secret Santa here.
It's a reincarnated Randy Johnson.
Close. Do we know who that is?
Oh yeah,
Corbin Burns.
That's Corbin Burns. So my Secret Santa is for kind of it involves Corbin Burns and a team I've been talking about for 12 months now. The Brewers are one of these teams that always has to seem to trade off their top guys before they hit free agency, trying to cash them in trades. And usually they do okay. But they got a couple of them this year. They got Burns, 1-year deal left, who's their best pitcher, arguably maybe a top 10 pitcher in all of baseball for the last couple of years. And they also have a shortstop, Willie Adames, who has played very well. So I could see him getting traded as well. But Burns right here, I think he's going to get dealt this offseason. They've got to cash in. They can't just let him walk. They lost Woodruff this year as well. So they got to cash Burns in for some long-term future assets. And so he's going to look mighty good down in the desert in a Diamondback hat. So my Secret Santa is picking up Corbin Burns and flying him down to Phoenix and putting the snakes on the chest and the head. I think they've got some pieces there in Arizona that can make this deal happen. If you look at the Glas now trade, they got, part of that was Tampa wanted as much money as possible to leave their books. So shipping out Glas down to Margot saved them, I don't know, $30-40 million or whatever this year. And so that was a big part of that. And to get Glas now, this guy we've talked about a lot who hasn't pitched a whole lot and he's already 30. They sit back a decent pitcher, young pitcher, lots of control, and a fourth outfielder type. So Glas now, Margot go, and they bring in two guys that can readily replace them in Tampa in the small market to keep them competitive with cheaper longer control in these players. So a similar type of deal. However, Burns is 2 or 3 tiers above Glas now. He's had a longer career. He's dominated. He's been a Cy Young award winner. His health track record blows past Glas now. And so my proposal is to send recent draft pick Tommy Troy, who plays shortstop. He was Diamondbacks' #1 pick last year, but he's a few years away. Send Tommy Troy and let the Brewers pick either Ryan Nelson or Brandon Pfaadt. And if I'm the Diamondbacks, I'm hoping they choose Ryan Nelson. I'm doing everything I can to keep Pfaadt around. But let the Brewers have one of those young starters and Tommy Troy. The Brewers can plug that young starter right into the rotation this year and have lots of control. And then they got Troy coming up, so when they do move Adames, they've got a shortstop ready. Now, Arizona has the #1 prospect is a shortstop, Jordan Lawler, who's already played in the bigs last year. He's ready to take over shortstop now, and he's the same age as Tommy Troy. So, and then they got #15 prospect, Blaze Alexander, who's also a great shortstop prospect who had a 900 OPS in AAA last year. So the Diamondbacks have 2 top prospects in AAA ready to go. Use Troy, the youngest of the 3, and go get Burns. And just picture Arizona in the same division with the Dodgers running out Zach Gallen, Corbin Burns, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, and let's say Brandon Pfaadt as your 5 rotation. That's the best rotation in the West. With all their young hitters, I think it's a doable trade. I think the teams line up, and the Brewers don't have to take a huge step back in a weak Central. So that's my Secret Santa gift, shipping Corbin Burns to Arizona, and let Arizona try to make a second run deep into the playoffs.
They
That's
make
what I
that
got.
trade. They make that trade where they end up in the division.
If they get Corbin Burns, they're in first place. Diamondbacks win the West.
So can we lock that in that if Corbin Burns, then D-backs first?
As long as Yamamoto doesn't go to LA.
No,
Well, now
that
that's
wasn't the
too many.
question.
That's too many
Yeah.
qualifiers here.
I'll say if they get Corbin Burns, they go to first place. I was rooting for first place all last year. They failed at the end of the year to hold on to it, obviously. I'll say, yeah, Burns, if that's the rotation, Kelly, Gallen, Burns, Erod, and one of the young guys in the 5th spot. That's by far the best rotation in the West.
I like it.
I think the Diamondbacks have shown, especially with the signing of Erod, that they are willing to make moves. So I like this deal. I think you might be a little bit higher on Tommy Troy than other people might be, but that's not to say maybe I don't know what I'm talking about also. But yeah, I remember because I think I was hoping maybe that he went to the Cubs, but it's reading up on him, it seems like maybe he's more of a second base guy. Which I think just second base is important. I know I kind of talked smack a little bit about it earlier, but it is a very important position. It is certainly not as valuable as what shortstop is. If other teams do see him as a bona fide shortstop, I can see something like that happening. Because it does seem like their position.
Yeah, there's not much of a track record since he just got drafted. So if Milwaukee would rather have Blaze Alexander, guy that's closer to the bigs, could take over shortstop as soon as Adames is traded, I'd do that too, as long as I keep Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
I like Burns.
Moving on.
How many tiers are in your tier system where you're saying he's 2 or 3 above Glas now?
I mean, I don't know that that's much of a conversation with Burns' career versus Glasnow's career.
I mean, if you go careers, I guess you could say that. Yeah. If you're going stuff, I think they're probably even.
Yeah, but I'd rather have the guy that actually gets to use his stuff than the guy that's sitting at home with his stuff on the couch.
That's true. And I'm always trading the young guys. Not always, but I'm using it, especially if it's a pitcher. I'd make that trade all day. You got to resign him though, and that's
it would be nice if they could re-sign him, but they would still have Gallen, Kelly, Erod, and the young guy in 2025. Kelly's got an option. The rest of the guys got a couple years control. So if they weren't able to resign him, they would still have 4/5 the rotation coming back. So they wouldn't be completely up a creek. But
yeah. If he goes 200 innings again, I mean, if he repeats what he's done the past 3 or so years, he's
2 years younger than Glas now. 3 straight years, averaging 30 starts. Year before, I mean, with one of those being a Cy Young winner. And 2020 had a 2.11 ERA in the short season. I mean, he's got more innings pitched in the last 3 years than Glas now has in his entire career, which could work in Glasnow's favor if he maybe has less wear and tear on his arm now, besides the Tommy John, so he's ready to go for the next 10 years. I don't know, but yeah, I got to think Burns is probably the hottest commodity right now in the pitching market, if the Brewers are willing to trade him.
Trade market. Yes.
Yeah, trade market, yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't afford Yamamoto, I'd be going all in on trying to get Burns.
Do you guys have any other thoughts? Because I do have another special Secret Santa segment that's going to be very short. But
he's coming back. No, that's all I got.
Santa only comes once a year.
I got a second name.
Humbug.
And it was Joe's name. So Joe, I've gotten you a gift. His name is AJ Puck. He's 6'7". He's left-handed, and he has 2.1 walks per 9.
I like it.
So I'm just hoping that.
Never healthy.
But doesn't matter. He's tall left-handed, and he doesn't throw balls.
Doesn't have a lot of balls.
Just hoping maybe you guys meet up sometime, and we're just gonna see where it takes us.
Hang out.
Does he have a red beard?
He does. He used to have long hair, so it's not that much of a stretch of the imagination for you, maybe.
Oh boy.
Well, I think it's time to wrap this sucker up. We're going to be back at you next week as well with a quick little news bit and a fun little contest of sorts, talking about our favorite role players. So you won't miss on that.
10.6 WAR or less.
Yeah, Corey's up to something. But Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever else you celebrate.
Thanks for listening.
This season, it's been great. Enjoy time with your family and friends.
Or don't.
Yeah, enjoy time by yourself and hide from the family. That's
if you need a good choice. If you need a break, we're here for you.
That's right. Every Thursday-ish.
Thursday-ish.
You heard it here, folks. Every Thursday-ish.
Corey, where can they find us at?
We are on wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, at Rake Your Position. That's rake like you spell rake. You are, because there's a character limit, position. And then our email is rakeyourposition, the normal spelling, at gmail.com. This is very easy to follow. And then we're on Etsy. Just search Rake Your Position and see where that takes you. It's a real fun game to play.
Buy all the coffee mugs you can.
Yes.
Helps Corey out.
Yep. My favorite item for us to sell is coffee mugs.
My favorite game to play. And tell your friends, and have your friends tell their friends, and then their friends' mom.
And
who was making out with Santa Claus.
And kind of like, whose line is it anyway? Even if it's an old episode, you can just keep rewatching us, and they just keep getting better and better. So we got 37 of them up now.
With some old game episodes. We kind of gave up on the games, but there's some fun game stuff back there. If you enjoy baseball trivia and stats and
that's because
random
six
baseball
people
history.
watch that as opposed to like the 20 that watch the normal episodes.
All righty, fellas.
We'll get
Well,
there.
Merry Christmas to you all. And to
And to
all,
all
a
a good
night. But don't forget to
Rake
Rake
your
your chimney.
Position.
position.
Deck the halls with holly,
La 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 la
Stars are
la.
brightly shine.